Hello and welcome to the channel today. So let's just get into it. Today is Friday, 27th of December 2024. So the market is about to close. It's closing today. So let's just take a kind of weekly recap on the movement the market made this week on gold, GU, BTC, JPY, USD CAD. At least about 5 pairs. So let's just see what the market has in store for us for this week. Let's start with Bitcoin. Let's just erase the chart and start from the weekly time frame. Right now, we can see that Bitcoin is heavily bullish, and honestly, there's no real reason why anyone should be selling this at this point. For those looking at intraday points or quick, small scalping moves, you might see selling positions, but for now, buying is the best option. But let's just analyze it and see what we have. So the way I look at this, we just have this on the weekly time frame. We have this price, just this consolidation, price broke out of this consolidation. If we go to the daily time frame, what do we have? Quite simply, we have this area. Until price breaks below here, I don't think we can consider any position for a sell. Until price breaks below here, you can look for something here, and at this point you look for larger time frame, larger scale buys. But for now, I think price is still bouncing off of this support. And if you look at the market structure at this point, we have this. So we are still quite bullish. Like for me, I consider this point as the last low that will need to be broken for me to consider a market structure shift. Now, price has come down here and formed what, in my opinion, I will call a double bottom. And why I call it double bottom is because this is the last low that formed this move. So price has come to test it again and is bouncing on it. So we expect that buy to continue. But what will confirm the buy? Market structure has to shift on this time frame. That's market structure has to clear this last low. If you look at here, price also form another double bottom. These are strong indications for reversals. So price has to clear this place or this zone. A nice trade would be something like this. If price breaks above here and comes into somewhere here, you can look for those buys to these highs. I think that's it. But for me, honestly, I'll just, if price clears this resistance, I begin to look at opportunities for buys. So basically how I look at the market is, I want to be as bullish as possible if the overall time frame is bullish. I want to be as bearish as possible if it is bearish. So now that it is bullish, I don't see why I should be buying in a temporary bearish market structure. Do you get the point? This market structure is temporarily bearish on the 4 hour. Why should I buy here? Rather, I should wait for that change to continue the buying. So, but another thing to note is that on a smaller time frame for intraday scalpers, you could have also taken that quick sell when price broke below this 4 hour low here, which is what some people took here. I was interested in this position here and here. I took this particular one. So that's a short-term high. And if you look at this, we had this area, this break of this counter trend line. We had all these areas that were providing selling opportunities. Everyone has their own entry criteria. I have my entry requirements that I use to enter the market. So you look for your entry requirements, your entry criteria, and you sell. But nothing major. Just down to, like, if you sell from here, you are only taking your profit here. If you sell from here, you should be taking it here, or at most here. even at this point, if its price begins to do all this nonsense and you know that your overall time frame is bullish, why are you still holding this sell? Just liquidate that position and don't get caught on the wrong side of the market. So for now, what we're looking for in BTC is we're looking at two things. We're looking for price to do this, to break above here or break below here. These are the structures that we're looking for to confirm either a buy or a sell. So above here we buy, below here we sell. Let's look at gold. Gold has also been quite bullish, quite bullish. So what do we have here in gold? Let me just quickly see if there's we have this trend line here. Price came and bounced off of this late trend line on this time frame. Okay, let's go to the daily time frame. Now, what is the daily providing for us? Price broke this zone. What's going on here? Let's go back. Price broke this zone, and as soon as it broke this zone, it became bearish. I don't know if that makes sense, because one of the things here is understanding market structure. This is the market structure here. Price broke here, it became bearish. But it's not that simple. Now, when price became bearish, price found a resistance here and formed a double top here. Very, very powerful signal. Let's draw it out. We had this zone, price broke it and went bearish. Now, price came deep into this point and found support here, just here initially. It stalled here. Now, this can just be, this now did not form a lower low. Rather, it came back and formed a double top, confirming that this zone is actually strong and it is holding. So what does that entail? As price forms a double top on the daily time frame, what do I look for? I look for price to also shift, because double top is a selling price action formation. I look for price to shift bearish on the next lower time frame, which is the 4-hour. So where did price shift on the 4-hour time frame? I will say here is where it shifted, because there are two things to look at. You can look at it as price shifting from market structure on the 4-hour time frame, or you can look at price shifting on market structure on the 4-hour time frame, or you can look at it that price has broken a major zone. Now, if you look at this point now, price came here and was finding resistance on this zone. When price broke it, we expected it to come here and find support, but it broke it again. So what that indicates to us is that this zone is a major zone, and for price to break it and retest below and hold, we expect that price should continue to sell. That this zone is bullish, is a bearish, that this zone is holding for a bearish continuation. But if you also look at the 4-hour structure, you look at these small minor structures here. Now, if you go to the 1-hour time frame, we can now see clearly that we have this change in market structure here. Retest of this zone. Now, if I see a zone on the 1-hour time frame like this, I start to look for my entry on the 5-minute. That is my strategy, because I look at it as if it's the 4 hour, I look at the entry from the 15 minutes. If it's the 5 minutes, if it's the 1 hour, I look at my entry from the 5 minutes. Now at this point, I now start to look for confirmations for sell. There were two opportunities to sell. We had one here and we had another one here. Now I have my entry pattern where I use with the RSI and things like the counter trend line, which is my own. In the future videos, I will go over my own entry strategies, and I have 3 entry models, so I'll go over that in the future. So for me, I had a sell setup around here. This point did not necessarily give me any clear setup. If I wanted to take anything, it would just be me going against my own trading pattern and style. But here, as soon as price breaks down, this whole double top, triple top formation at this point is also a good indication that price is holding here and it wants to continue to sell. So it sold quite a lot. Now, where are we at the moment? Price now, let's go to the daily time frame. Price has broken below this daily configuration, this daily support. If you go to the 4-hour time frame, price has broken below, confirming that price is still bearish. Confirming that price is still bearish. Now, this is where it gets interesting. In as much as price is still bearish here, there are 2 things to look out for. Price is this. This is the 4-hour structure. It has come here, broke. This is the last high that broke this low, and this is the low. Until price breaks this high, this market is still bearish. I don't know if you get me. Until price breaks this high, this market is still bearish. Very important. So we can now take multitude of sells based on entry patterns, entry requirements, confluences to sell. So you look for your own entry pattern. I have my entry model. If your entry model is looking for supply zones, fine. If your entry model is looking for trend lines, fine. Do what works for you. In the future, I will teach my own entry models. But for now, let me just look at how you could have also taken advantage. There are 2 things. When price comes and breaks below a zone like this, price will retest this major zone. But this deeper movement into the last break and retest zone, the last low, minor low that broke this zone, it is not weird. It is normal for price to do that. Just a second. Price also likes, if price has broken here, price likes to come to these zones, retest, come down. But sometimes it can also make a deeper run here. These things are still valid sells as long as this high has not been taken out. That is it. So from here, you can go down to the 15 minute, because this is a 4-hour structure in which we are seeing this. So you look for your own entry model here. And for me, and I enter a lot with the break of counter trend lines. I use the counter trend lines a lot. And the counter trend lines for me has to make sense. They have patterns, things like divergence and etc. etc. But it is within the zone, within the market structure, within everything. And one other thing is you can also look for, and this for me is what, in my opinion, is the most powerful entry pattern. When you have a trend line confluence, no matter how minor it is, you see this 1 second touch and third touch confirmation, very, very powerful. nothing to sneeze about. You have something like this. You see, even things like this, very, very, very powerful. Don't play with them. Don't ignore the trend lines on the charts. Well, everyone, I have a way I draw my trend lines, and over time I can also do a lesson on how I use the trend lines. So we have this. So we look for entry models along this, from this zone, as long as this high here, as long as this high has not been taken out. So this is basically how we could have capitalized during this week, because what I'm talking about is basically a review of the weekly market, this week's market structure, and what we can also look for going forward. I will also do a weekly breakdown, a weekly forecast for next week, breaking down much more pairs and what we can expect for the coming week. But for now, look for opportunities when price breaks below here and retest. Don't go too far. If you just get here, it's fine. People are too greedy. I don't just get it. You come here, you enter a trade around here. You come here, even if it's you 2R, take it and move on. The market will keep on giving you opportunities. Don't be greedy. So that's it for that. Let's go over which other one. Let's go to GBP USD. So what do we have here? GBP USD. First of all, what catches my attention is this trend line here. So when I see things and prices at that trend line, it's a decision zone, and until price gives me a clear indication of break or continuation, I don't buy, I don't do anything, or I don't take any trade there. Now, something interesting is going on here. What we have here is prices at this trend line is forming a double bottom. When price taps this trend line the first time on the daily, and price began to shift bullish from this point, at the break of this point, we would have gone up on the 4-hour time frame, because the daily 4-hour structure is coinciding with the 4-hour structure. We could have looked for buys from this zone to target these highs. Now, on the 15-minute time frame, let's see if there was anything we could have gotten from there. Personally, there was some we could have gotten a trade, but it's not the best. Nothing too convincing for me, because I look at my entry is basically patterns. I look at patterns that repeat. That is how I enter, and I could have entered here. Here it's not the best, but I could have entered around here. But I could have gotten maybe 2R, 1.5R. I don't know. So, but the thing is, whatever the market gives you, you take. Even if the market stopped me out here, it's really not a big deal, because come on, it's not really a big deal. If you continue to look at things in a very negative light, you won't make money in this market. Another thing you could have looked at here is the head and shoulder pattern here, where this is the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So you look at the thighs from somewhere here. Let's go down, see if I could have gotten anything there. I just like to review. I look at all these things while I'm working, so that I can also review my trades, review my strategy, review the market, and know where I can also fine tune, because I want to train my eyes to keep on seeing something repeatedly. For me, there was nothing here I could have taken on this area, so probably won't take a trade there. As for me, well, enough of that. Right now, What do we have? Remember earlier I said something about major zones. If you look at this head and shoulder area here, if you stretch it out, in my opinion, this zone is an important zone. If price is going to go bearish, price should in a way continue to hold below this zone. Even if it flashes up, it will still flash down and continue below this zone. That is my own personal experience of the market. But if price breaks this zone and continues to hold here, this is the buy to this point. These are your targets. Very, very, very simple. So what do we have here? This is the last high that broke this low. So if we can have something like this that clears this, comes here and holds here, all the better. But even if it just comes here and I see my entry model here on this support, I'm going to take it because I know it is confirming. Why will I take it? Let's start from the weekly. We are on the weekly trend line. We have formed a daily double bottom. We have broken 4-hour key level. On the 15 minute, we'll be expecting a 15-minute entry pattern. Why shouldn't I buy? Like, what else am I thinking about? Why won't I buy? It's easy buy. That is just it. Stack the higher time frame, flow with it. And it is always nice when, let me quickly digress. If you're on the higher time frame, when you get to a higher time frame key level, wait for price to break it and give you a confirmation, or bounce on it and continue. This bouncing from the higher time frame, in my opinion, gives you higher probability. Sometimes when it breaks this, it is false. It will still come back again and do that. I don't know if I'm drawing too much, but the point is, if this is a higher time frame zone, if price comes into this zone and changes structure and continues to hold price, it is a higher probability to buy or sell it if the reverse is the case than when you come here and come once. If it breaks this structure on this is the higher time frame zone and it continues to go, let's say the second one, but this first one, be skeptical about it, because this first one that it breaks, oftentimes might just be a fake out to continue in. Well, I will explain all this further as we watch my videos, and you will begin to understand, get more clarity on all I'm explaining. So what are we looking for to this week? Like I said, if price breaks above here, I think that's just like the reasonable thing. For me, there are ways I can also enter this market from down here, but I don't teach it because I won't advise you to do the same, because I'm willing to take that risk. There are ways I can also begin to enter the market and start like a risk entry, like as they say. But that is not this. This one I've told you here is the best way to preserve your capital. Now for a sell, because let's not also look at only buys and forget about the selling options. For the sell, let's mark out this. You see this small area here? This is a target for the weekly if we begin to break that area. And also if you look, this is a supply zone untested, so very powerful. You don't expect to blow past this easily. So when price breaks this, look for this sell, or just give it one more confirmation and go. But depending on your courage, this is it, something like this. So I think that is it for GBP USD. Let's quickly take a look at USD CAD. Let's see what we have here. USD CAD. Interesting. What do we have? We have this level here. Price is a danger zone. This tick line always does my head in. I don't like it. So we have this. Then we basically had this area of consolidation. Let's not waste time over analyzing that thing. Price broke out of this area of consolidation and tested it. Let's go to the daily. This is so bullish. This is also too much for my eyes. Let's just say price broke out of this zone structure area thingy. And so let's just keep on climbing this ladder. It broke here. So price is really extended on USD CAD. Now, this is where things get interesting. Now, if you look at this, there is a kind of trend line squeeze going on here. And we are forming this point here. These are key levels, like zones where price is squeezing itself into. Now, what do we do? I think by now it's getting a bit clearer for people who have been following. What we just need to do now is just to come up here. Simple. Break down here. Simple. Easy, easy, easy peasy. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't reinvent the wheel. If I was starving for a trade, I might have looked for 1 hour shift and enter entries on the 5 minute. Now, another thing to note about these key levels, when price is moving like this, it doesn't always come here to retest. Sometimes it can come a bit deeper if there is a structure at this point. Why I'm saying that is, don't assume that price will just maybe retest on this. It might also it might just want to come in, let's say, a bit deeper. I beg your pardon. Somewhere here. This might be where it's coming to. So the point is that just look for your entry model within these areas of interest. So if price breaks above here, we should be looking for this. If price now, take note, if price comes here, changes structure, you can also look for a short-term sell into these lows. That is for people who want to take high risk. But this is a much safer option. Simple. A much safer option. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't reinvent the wheel. This is a much safer option. If price breaks this, look for options that will help you preserve your capital. Don't fall into Instagram hype and lifestyle rubbish they do. You are not the best trader in the world. The market doesn't conform to your whims. God doesn't have a special place in his heart for you where because you are taking a trade, he will clear the road for you and you will make all the millions. Use your common sense. Be smart. So we've covered BTC, GU, BTC, GU, gold, USD CAD. I think the last one we'll cover now is EUR JPY. Let's remove drawings. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Now on this chart, what do we see? Interesting. Now, why is my eye drawn to that point? Because if you look at the structure, your pardon, I beg. This, it comes here, this. So this is low, is what bred this. So when price came here and held, for me, this is a double bottom. Let's proceed. Now, like I always tell you, when price forms a double bottom, all you should be looking out for is the shift in market structure to continue and validate that double bottom. Do we have any issue based on the trend line? Not really. We can just forget about the trend line and focus on the support. I like to mark out the trend lines to know whether there are obstacles in my way, in front, or where I should be heading to, that kind of thing. So it's important to know whether there's any major trend line or any major support that you are heading towards or you are going to be bouncing off of soon. So now we're on the daily time frame. Let's delete this zone so I don't get too confused. Or rather, let's just put this here to let us know that we're coming from that place. Now, if you look at this point, we have this area come bounce, triple bottom. What are we looking for? As soon as price makes this first one comes down, look for all the change in market structure here and be entering on the break and the retest of all of them. As soon as price breaks this on the lower time frame and it is look for the break, the retest, break the retest. Perfect your own entry model and stick to it. Even if you see a break and retest, even if you know it's going to the moon and it is not you don't have your entry model, don't take the trade. Look for your own entry model. If your own is engulfing candlestick, fine. If it's a pin bar, fine. If it is even if it's an SMC, liquidity grab, purge liquidity stuff and supply zones, demand zone, whatever you want to use as your own entry model. All I'm just explaining here is to give you like the flow of the river. And if you want to use a bucket to scoop it, a spoon to scoop it, if you want to scoop it in the evenings and leave some in the afternoon, it is your choice, my dear. I am just explaining the flow of the river. All right, let's proceed. So for this week, this past week, what could we have? Where were the opportunities? So when price came and bounced off here, what could we have done on the 4-hour time frame? As soon as price began to violate these zones, if you look at it also, the bulk of this trend, this is the meat of the trend. This trend line is the meat of the trend. What I mean is, this is what is holding this bearish structure. It violates it. Trend shift. It breaks this high that formed a low. Trend shift. Immediately, we are just waiting for pullbacks and we are just riding the wave. Riding the wave. But as we are riding the wave, what do we keep in mind? We keep in mind that this zone is here. When we get here, we stop riding the wave. This is a big current coming. We wait, we chill. When price breaks it and continues, we continue with wave. If it taps it here and changes structure, we ride the wave down. Simple. I don't overcomplicate these things. So from here, let's go to the 15 minutes. For me, let me see if I had some how many what I could have gotten from all this. Let's go on. Riding the wave, riding the wave, riding the wave. I could have gotten something around here. If there was a trend line confluence here, I'd love to see this break retest with a retest of the trend of a trend line. Ooh, very, 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 very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. You see something like this? Money, anytime, any day. Well, nothing is guaranteed, but it's just to recognize the signs and know when to capitalize. We had an opportunity here. Nothing fascinating. Was there anything on the 1 hour time frame that could have taken? For me at this point, no. I couldn't have taken anything on this level because I didn't have any entry model, any entry pattern there. So I hope this is making sense now. We come here, we ride the wave. What are we? Where are we now? We are at this point. Why are you still buying? Chill out. You are this zone where price has been reacting from. Relax. Even if it breaks it, don't even buy again. Just wait. Let it break here. Or rather, let it break here and continue. Or even if it swipes up below and starts to change, you can look for your trades here. Very easy. Don't reinvent the wheel. You don't own this market. Let the market show you its direction. Let it show you its hand first. Then you jump in. That is it. Me, I do weekly. I start from the weekly, daily, 4 hour. And for me, the 4 hour is probably one of the most, because the 4 hour, when you go with the 4 hour trend, you have a higher probability of success. If I'm using a daily structure, break and retest of a daily structure, I will enter on the 1 hour. But with the 4 hour, what it helps you is that it helps you line with the intraday and intraday structure. So it is very, very, very good to have that 4 hour shift. Very important. Even if you use only the 4 hour. So another person can decide to do 4 hour as, say, your highest time frame, the 1 hour, your second highest time frame, then the 15 minutes for your third highest time frame. Then you enter on the 3 minutes or the 1 minute. I don't know. However you decide to do that. So that's just it. So I hope this video was useful to you guys. I will be constantly posting my videos, and I always hope someone can gain something out of, because when I started trading a couple of years ago, yes, honestly, I can't say there weren't educators out there. There were people who dedicated their time to really help out. But it is also important for me to also teach and give back. Because what I'm telling you now, I'm not holding anything back. I'm telling you everything I know. And from my years of experience, so that you don't waste so much time going down the wrong path and learning rubbish. Just focus on these things I've said. Focus on structure. Focus on the trend. Don't go against the flow of the river, and you will make money in this market. Thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe. And reach out. Comment if you have any suggestions for videos and all that. I'm willing and open to hear your opinions and ideas. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. God bless.